Okay, so hi, my name is Maggie, and I'm a junior at Waukee, and I'm just really passionate about mental health because I've had some personal experiences, and I want to help other people kind of learn how to manage it and have like healthy strategies for dealing with their own struggles.
Hi, I am Sophia. I'm also going to be talking with Maggie today. I am actually a freshman at St. Olaf, which is a liberal arts college in Minnesota. Um, I'm also very passionate about mental health. I started dealing with some mental health issues about 4 years ago, and kind of changed my life around. And now um, it's become like one of my focuses, one of my passions. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about how to maintain boundaries within your life, and kind of knowing when and how to ask for help when a situation arises, that you do need help, and kind of like some signs um, that you may need help, and then incorporating our stories within that.
Yeah. So first we kind of wanted to talk about like school and how to set boundaries at school. Um, And kind of like one of our ideas of how we found like the most success was setting times um, where you just like have time away from school. So like you're home and you don't worry about the things that are going on at school because it's really important to have that difference, especially this year with online school. I feel like it's really hard for people because their school life kind of just like blends into the whole day. And that's like not very good. You need to have that separation. So being mindful about like really just having time where you do something that you love instead of or like are passionate about outside of school.
Yeah, I know, like like in here, like last semester I wasn't able to do that. But this semester, like my whole morning I just dedicate to myself. And like I know, like, I don't know, for me, I still I feel guilty every second I'm not working on schoolwork. But it's like I think it's so important because I look forward to my mornings. Like if like you might not look forward to your day if you don't have like any you time.
Yes, for sure. And then also something that is really helpful for me in high school is knowing when you need to step away in class and knowing that it's okay to do that. So something that just like really helped me was figuring out that I could communicate with my teachers and like kind of tell them what was going on, and it didn't have to be like this whole secret thing, because that just helps so much. So at the beginning of a class, like at the semester or whatever, I'll go into my teacher and I'll just be like, hey, like these are some of the things I am dealing with. Like I have panic attacks and I might just need to step away, go to the bathroom, like 5 minutes, and I'll let you know. Like, and then they're like, okay, great. Thanks so much for letting me know. And it just doesn't have to be a big thing, but it's so helpful to know that you have that place and opportunity if you need to take it. And that's really helpful.
Yeah, and I think it's too much downplayed in I think high school. Now that I've been in college, um I mean only for a semester, but about like really the needs of a person, of like their outside needs from school, and like how we need to support them like emotionally, like how like schools need to provide emotional like resources, and just like there's so many more accommodations in college that I feel like so many people use. And I just think it's what Maggie was saying, it's so important to um communicate with your professors, even if it's like just like I'm, my mental health is up and down. I don't know how this class is going to go for me. Like I may need some assistance. I don't know.
Yeah. um so then yeah, just I think that's something that is really helpful, and just like emphasizing, I know I kind of said it earlier, but that it's okay to take those breaks, um and like you can work with your teachers. You're not going to miss something that is like like it's not going to be the end of the world. And if you're communicating you can figure out whatever you need to make the situation like good. So then the next thing you wanted to talk about was with boundaries was kind of like socially, being okay with saying no. And that's like a big thing kind of with school and social and like family and a lot of different things. So, Sophia, did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so my whole high school experience and even now in college, I think I'm more aware of it now. I'm more aware that I do compare myself to others and feel like I have to say yes to every single thing. Like I'm part of the it's called CJC, Climate Justice Collective, here at St. Olaf, and it's basically just like environmental club that's trying to get students working on like local environmental issues and social justice issues here in Northfield in Minnesota. And there's so many opportunities to get involved. And I feel like I have to say yes to everything for people to like for people to like me. Like I have friends who are in it because I'm like obviously friends who people who are interested in the environment. It's really big for me. And I feel like they're not gonna like me if I don't say yes to everything. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Um, I feel like they're not gonna like me. I feel like I have to like they're gonna think I'm a loser or like I'm not dedicated enough. But then I realized they're not attending everything either. They're not doing that. So I think and like saying no, I think is just like so healthy because if I said yes to everything that like that they offered, I would never have like my whole weekend would be filled with that. Um, and I think in high school when it was even a bigger problem with me saying no, I never felt just relaxed. I think like on the weekends I never felt relaxed. Like I just had all of this anxiety and stress about everything that I had to do. And I think saying no is important because it also helps you identify really what you are interested in and
Right.
what you want to pursue and not trying like it frees you from trying to impress others, definitely, which um I think obviously everyone wants to do, but no one has the time to do that.
Yeah. Um, I also know that that's something for me that um I just wanted to do, especially going into from middle school to high school when we got more opportunities to do different things. And there were clubs and like different things. I just wanted to do everything because I liked doing a lot of different things, but I've had to like focus in on those things that I really like the most. And I think that's good. And then it also it's been interesting because I kind of thought that like, oh, if I um like don't do art club or don't do the art show, like I can't do art, but that's not true. Like you can still do those things.
Yeah.
You don't have to be involved in like the time consuming like clubs and stuff like that. So that's really something that I've had to figure out a little bit.
Yeah, and like obviously it's important to be involved because like you do want to meet people and you do want to but I think also it's okay to like like there's a medium of like going to things but not like fully like saying committing yourself to something. I think like dipping a toe in is also something that is important to learn rather than just being like okay, I'm committed to this because I want people to think like I'm part of this and I'm cool. I mean, okay, maybe that might just be me who's like searching for that affirmation, but yeah, like I think dipping your toe in and like just like maybe start with like following the Insta following the Instagram account and seeing if like something interests you and like attending an event. Like you don't like I don't know. That's just my personal experience because um like everything is so interesting, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And like if you try to do everything full out and like um you're gonna like stretch yourself too thin and then nothing you do is going to be really like the level you want it to be. So
Yeah.
I know that's frustrating for me. I'm like, well, I want to like I'm kind of falling short of what I want. But if you focus in, then you can really give your all too, something.
Oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to mention. So I had a friend, I don't know why, but I had a friend that I compared myself to so much, and it was toxic to be around her because I was constantly I was constantly down on myself. This is in high school, and I literally painted her out as a villain, like, because I felt so ugly when I was around her, and I realized, like, it was because, like, I was unhappy. Like, I didn't wanna d like, we had very similar interests, but I was dedicating to myself these activities because I wanted to, like, say I'm better than her, that I
Yeah,
I could be interested in these things too, but, like, really, I wasn't happy doing those things. So if you actually, like, join something just because you wanna, like, say, "Yes, I'm doing this," it could be, like, actually a waste of time if you're not 100% happy
yeah,
doing it, or if you have the wrong reasons for doing it.
yeah. I feel like that, I have always kind of been stressed about, like, building a really strong, like, resume of things that I have done, and that's I'm like, "Well, I need to do, like, all these different things. I need to do a sport, I need to do, like, music, I need to do art, I need to do all these things so that people colleges know that, like, I'm involved in things and I'm, like, a good like, worker." I don't know. But, what I've found is that if I as I focused on the kind of things that I like music, like singing, and I like mental health stuff. Those things have so many different opportunities in them that I have plenty of different things that I'm involved in with those, and I don't have to spend time on things that don't make me as happy and is kind of just like add stress. Because my favorite thing is when I'm doing things that are like good, but also having a lot of fun, and it doesn't really feel like work or like
Yeah.
stressful, you know?
Mhm. Exactly. Yes. Uh,
Okay. So the next thing we wanted to talk about was kind of when to know, like, how to ask for help when you're struggling, and signs and things that you can notice in yourself to kind of as a red flag to be like, okay, like I need to ask for help right now. Like I can't do this on my own anymore.
yeah, so, luckily and kind of unfortunately for me, I've had a very, like, introspective mind and, like, just always, like, "Is this a good thought? Is this irrational? Like, do I is this bad for me?" So, I've really never struggled, with, I've never struggled with knowing when to ask for help because I feel like I'm like, oh, sometimes I feel like I'm over asking for help. Like I'm just like, get this fixed, get this fixed, Sophia. But some of the things I think that are truly like, um, truly things that are like fire signs that I've struggled with, and at the moment, I didn't realize how toxic they were, and like, they still go on in my life, and I know, like, I think it's important to know though because, like, I have kind of an addictive personality, so, like, just when I'm feeling down, I'll like to shop a lot, or, like, I'll like to I don't know, just like, things like that, and so, like, I think when you start to find out you're having a coping mechanism, something to do when you feeling down, like, lonely, um is really like, when you start to find something that doesn't make you happy, but you find yourself you're doing it a lot. Like like, I'll, buy something online, and then I'm like, "I feel like I'm doing this a lot, but it's not really bringing me the happiness." Like, it's like,
Yeah.
obvious like, buying things can't really but, like, why am I doing it? I feel like when you're questioning why you're doing something, or, like, you find you're doing something a lot, that's definitely time to ask, "Okay, like, um" not that something's wrong, but, like, maybe you're not happy, and I feel like everyone deserves to be happy.
Like
So
what can you do instead of that, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, and something for me is noticing differences in, like, just my daily routine or life, or, like, if I have things that I regularly do and all of a sudden, um, I am just not wanting to do them, and, like, it's something that is shouldn't normally I like to do. So like if it's going to show choir, I'm like, oh my gosh, I do not want to go to this. And it's like, why? You love show choir. Um, that's something for me that it's like, okay, something else is going on that's making this kind of making me like not want to do these things. Um, yeah, Sophia, do you have anything like that in your daily routine that you notice?
Yes, I have so many things. For me, they're just kind of for me, they're well, I think those are also signs what Maggie was saying, also signs of just depression. So and which is very common. So, and like depressive states, people, but for me, it's kind of and I felt so embarrassed by this because it's like simple hygiene, but um sometimes I mean I just don't have time, but like not wanting to wash my face or brush my teeth. Like I'll just be like, "Oh, like I don't care." Or like I'll just be too tired to walk to the not too tired, but not wanting to walk to the dinner place. I'll be like, "Ah, I just don't feel like." But that's where I get a lot of my interaction and a lot of like seeing people. And that's important, especially because it's like online school and I'm in my dorm room a lot. Um, or what else? Um, I think, leaving my room messy. I mean, I'm not really an organized person, but I'm like, if I'm just like leaving things on the floor, I'm realizing, okay, my care is going down. And that means my care for myself, which is like, I love my room. Like I love having it like like I take pride in like how I have it organized and like decorated. So I'm realizing like I'm not really caring for myself right now. Um, I think another thing is and I think I've established like regular patterns with other people too, so which is important because they know when I'm like feeling down too. Like I usually call my mom or text her every morning. And when I don't do that, she sends me so many texts. She's like, "Are you okay? Like please text me. Please text me." Like because I've had some dangerous times, and so I think it's good for me too because then it's like reminding me, okay, are you okay, Sophia? Like, is something up when she texts me? So, yeah, definitely a lot of times I go off my routine.
Yeah. And then probably the biggest thing for me is forgetting things. Just like
Mm.
I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like my brain is just like broken. Like I don't know, like something that I should remember that's not hard, like something I do like I don't know, like if I forget um a regular appointment or I forget um like just things you shouldn't be forgetting and it's like why am I forgetting that? Like what the heck is going on? That to me is usually when I'm like okay, I'm really stressed out and I need to like get help so I can kind of like de-escalate a little bit. Um, but yeah, that's something that's really frustrating too. It's like just kind of annoying. Like, why are you forgetting things?
I have that same thing. I think it's because like maybe for you like and because I feel like it is for me like so much anxiety going on in your head that
Yeah,
there's enough space to
yeah,
to remember.
yeah, for sure. And then you kind of talked about this with like when you don't want to do things and you start to isolate, like if you don't go to the dining hall or whatever. But that's another big thing. It's just like not talking to people as you normally would or not interacting with people. That to me is another time when I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like we need to figure out um what's happening that we can work on a little bit to get better.
Yeah, like even just last night. I mean, I think self-care is important and like it is good to listen to yourself. But like at night, like, usually like a Friday night, I get really lonely and I don't know why. I'm so lonely, but I don't want to be with a friend who's like once I'm like, this is so like and like counterproductive, but I'm like, like I'm tired. I don't really want to hang out. And I mean like I don't know. It's just like that is a sign, but it's like it can be confusing sometimes because you're like, am I listening to my body that I want to just be by myself, or am I like isolating? I
Yeah.
think it, I think you really have to like know yourself to like try to like know yourself and listen to yourself to know when you're which one is going on. But yeah, it
Yeah.
can be confusing sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Because I know, for me, like I'm a very independent person, and I definitely need that time by myself because that's when I don't know, I just that's what builds my energy back up, and like being with around other people is really draining for me. So I need that time to be by myself, but then there's a certain point where it gets from where it's building me up to when it's kind of not healthy and it's kind of like making things worse. So that's really, I feel like you said, Sophia, just knowing yourself and knowing what you need and what is like healthy for you is really important.
Yeah. Um, I know there was another one we were going to talk about with um, like suicidal thoughts and ideation, which I think I mean, who was I talking about with this? I think someone was telling me like I think everyone has like suicidal thoughts. Um, which I don't know if I believe that. Like, oh no, this is what I was telling the person. Um, this older guy told me that. He's like, "Oh, I think everyone has suicidal thoughts." And I think that can be true, like in a stressful, like if you have like anxiety, like like anxiety from like just a work thing, or like just some random anxiety. But I think if you have these like sticking suicidal thoughts, um instead of like fleeing, like sometimes that night I'll have like these like this like suicidal thought that'll pass when I just feel like like I don't know, there's no other feeling to explain it than like just I want to scream. um but I think if you have like really stick, because it could be hard, like whether to like know if it's like a really serious, but if it's like a sticking thought, I think that could be, I mean, definitely, yeah, definitely ask for help.
Yeah.
That's
And I feel like obviously I don't know what other people like go through, when you said like everyone, I don't know, that's interesting to think about. But I feel like I feel like they're more common than we like think, for people to think those things, but I feel like if you have them, you definitely need to talk to somebody about it and figure out the ways that you can deal with it, because it's like, I don't want to say it's normal, but it's like it's okay to have those thoughts as long as you know how to handle it in a healthy way. Um and I know for me, mine are like kind of, it's when I get so overwhelmed and like I'm feeling emotions so strongly that
yeah,
it's like I don't know how to handle this. This is so like scary. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. That's when it's just like I just want to escape and I just want to not feel this way so like so
yeah,
strongly. Um so I know for me, I've worked with how to de-escalate and things to do. So I think that's really important just to like find those tools that help you in that moment, because um for me, like it'll be like 10 minutes that I'll be feeling that way, and then like an hour later I'll be like, oh my goodness, like I don't even know what I was feeling. Like it's so um it feels so separated from like rational thought. So I feel like just finding ways to get through those little moments is really important.
yeah. And I guess um I was talking from a perspective of like going through really I've like gone through a really depressive state, and so like I know, like personally I know the differences between I'm about to act on something like suicide, like I've had those times where I've like acted on something, like and acted on a suicidal thought, and knowing when like they're sticking and like ideation. um so I think like what was I gonna say, like I think there's a time like like Maggie was like saying, if you're like more experienced like on like how to like de-escalate and dealing with those thoughts. But I think like if you're like not, no, if there's like this is the first time they started popping up, definitely um getting a counselor or talking to someone about it is very important.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then the last thing we wanted to talk about was being okay with change. And I feel like that's something that this year has been really trying for a lot of people, especially like the control people that like to have control over things, aka me.
Mhm.
Um, where a lot of things have been out of control and out of our control. And so knowing those circles of control where like you can control yourself. You can control how you respond to other people, to situations, but you can't control what other people do and like the situations that happen to you.
Yeah. What is my thing? Also, I think control can show itself in just like, I don't know, for me, um, it shows itself in like, I don't know if for you, Maggie, like, does it show yourself in like every part of your life?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, and I think, and for me personally, I thought it would go away when I like got on medication. Like after like 2 years of being on medication and like counseling, I mean, I didn't think it would go away. I just thought it would be more easily, I would be able to handle it more. Um, but it's like I um like I'll handle it in one situation. Like I used to have an eating disorder and I would wanted to control my food intake. And so I'm able to handle that now, but now it's like I feel really out of control of my love life and like I'm trying to control like when I get a boyfriend and things like that. So I think knowing I think it's important because I get so upset at myself and so down on myself and like sometimes hate myself when I'm not when I have these like really anxious thoughts and wanting to control everything in my life. I think it's important to know that it's okay that you have those thoughts like and it's like you don't have to like that hate yourself because you are not like you don't have a perfect mind. I think that's really important to accept too.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
think that
I think that's kind of all we had to talk about today. Um, but yeah, thanks so much for watching this.
yeah. I hope you um learn some things or at least feel supported because I don't know about you, Maggie, but I definitely felt like when I was in the thick of my things, like um I don't know, no one felt this. I mean, this is very, but like no one felt the same thing. Like I felt so ashamed about my eating disorder, so ashamed. But like now, like I'm like everyone is like struggling with things. So,
Yeah, for sure.
well,
Okay, awesome.